Okay, Brandon, time to look at the sketchbook. We've got a decentish mind map here. Looks like it's done rather hurriedly. I think it'd be nice to possibly shift colour and have some other entries possibly. I would definitely tidy this up a little bit now that you've gone through things and you're doing things a little bit more thoroughly. You've got to have a bigger title in there. I wrote that in there a while ago, and you haven't done anything to even rub it out and put your own title in. So I think really we're in a situation, generally, in fact, throughout the book, where you've got to take a little bit more care. And it's not just to do with a particular style or anything like that. There are just parts to it which just need more care taken. And I'd suggest edges here, the colour here, the evenness and some of the detail would be a good place to start. And I would go back and do this because this is really the backbone of the GCSE, is being able to use a variety of materials in a variety of ways. Own photos, I don't believe they materialised. Now, studying photography and doing your own photographs, one would really expect to have some quality pages of photographs plus evaluations and so on. So this really is not good enough at this stage, almost a year on. This is kind of interesting. The pastel work, again, you could revisit it. You could get different tones to get the different darknesses going in here and possibly some more yellows in. A little bit of reworking on that is going to come up very, very nicely. I'd get rid of the white here a little bit more, just in the way that you've picked up these details here so well. There's also darker patches and lighter patches in here. This would be a real demonstration of some drawing skill that's improved from that time. I have this photograph. We should have that in there somewhere. Again, a little bit untidy here. I don't mind these smudges and stuff; they can be tidied up. But it's like certain places just needs a little bit of tidy. And this title here, most definitely, needs some kind of rejigging. It just looks like it's a little bit knocked out, and we take things a little bit less seriously. You've done such a nice job with that apple there that it would be a shame to spoil it just with this presentation. This needs to be finished. Again, it can look a little bit slack. And where you've written things, if you try and get it a little bit even, the presentation is so important, and you do it later on. The pictures here, they got to be your own pictures. That was the whole kind of key element here. You could work on top of this with your own photographs to kind of have them one side and another side that were there, where there were ones that were from Google, but you need to deal with this. We can't just have a picture of a page full of things off the internet. Different types of drawing with patterns. We need examples of patterns completed, plus the pattern sheets. I gave out a lot of pattern sheets. Read the title again. That's my writing there. This should be your writing, or type it out, or use stencils, whatever it takes. But that needs to be clear. We need to make a comparison between these two, right? How they're different. How maybe patterns are starting to go through into the middle here as well as just around the outside. This really, really is a backbone of the drawing and needs to be sorted out. This needs to be finished. This presentation here is getting increasingly lazy, I would say, and it doesn't show off the work well. You want to, if you go for a kind of a quick circle around something, then other stuff has to be neat in comparison. Like this line here, and the lining up helps to show what this is and relate it to that. Needs some tidying up and finishing. Okay, beginnings of print. Again, don't mind this being in kind of different blobs and so on. And even I don't even mind the lettering being kind of different sizes. It's just when it starts to look lazy that it just doesn't show off your work well. I would rewrite this, present it, maybe type it, rub it out, something like that, so it looks a little bit sharper. This is, these are images, again, that if you found some others, it would be good to fill the gaps. That's now getting to be a little bit more of a serious study. I would start getting the vertical lines in there. Vertical lines because it's done on plastic. So it's actually the lines of the plastic going down the vertical thing here. This is a good idea, but it needs finishing off. A lot of the prints were back to front. This needs tidying up. even if it's going to be doubled up and sort of fuzzy and so on. But it is, you've got to do something with that because it just can't be left like that. Maybe this mind map could be more sprawling, but that's the central point. So somehow we need to be making this the central key part of this mind map. This is scruffy. It's a scruffy sort of way of rendering out the sign. So I would make sure that the scruffiness that you put down here is the right kind of scruffiness. So in other words, the hamburger thing, it's a little bit straighter. I mean, if the rest of the book was more messed up, then or kind of was kind of neater and sharper, then this wouldn't look like it was just being careless. Again, my title. Don't want to see my title. I want to see your title up there. Okay, so an image that this was based on would be very useful. I think there are parts of it that need work, that would have to be refined, and a photograph is going to help that a lot. We're going to be able to work out where things are, where things go. Likewise, this possibly gridding up, got to finish it. And this is a classic example. This looks like you just frankly couldn't be bothered to even write the words, which might sound a bit harsh, but that's the way it comes across. It's either got to be neat or it's got to be handwritten. It's got to be clear that it's not just showing laziness. I think this is very promising. It's got a Matisse style to it. I'd finish it off. I'd get the picture and finish it off. Okay, another example of something that is, the next page I believe is blank. No, it's got the other. You've got to do something with this. It just looks a little bit too haphazard. I mean, if it was like the Warhol and it was meant to be that way, then fair enough. But it doesn't look like that because it's on a scrap of paper that's bent and folded up and not stuck on straight. And all the writing around it's very casual. So it just looks like it's just done like that because it was just sloppy rather than actual decision. And I'm thinking actually it's a bit of both, Brandon. I think you need to be you've been a little bit lazy, but also a little bit deliberate. So you've got to make it clear which is which, otherwise people are going to read it the wrong way. Okay, cracking bit of work. What a nice little bit of work, little study there. Let's get a picture of the actual scene as well, and we can see just how good that is. Well done. Trimmer. Yeah, I would get a trimmer on that probably, but it's a bit late now. Next time, get a trimmer on it. And I also think, you could have like an A4 printed one that you've chosen perhaps, or cropped. Use some of the skills from photography. Finish that off. Good start. Got to be finished. Tidy all that lot up. That is looking like it's a bit scrappy. Again, down here you can say why. You've chosen a particular one, what you think about them, how they might relate. We're starting to get that here. You've picked 3 here. Print them up bigger. Why have you chosen them? Well, you've chosen to do a drawing. Here's a drawing. Let's get the picture of the one that you chose to draw and say why you chose to draw it. Okay, page is looking a little bit tidier now. Some typed stuff, although it was typed from this sheet, there is some typed stuff on it. This needs more time spent. Get these things upright. It's looking closer to this. Pick over the detail, change the types of pen. I like this. Finish it. Say why you've done it in this style. I like this also. Places you could maybe do with just cleaning up, maybe putting a little border on it, something like that, just to tidy it up. Finish that for sure. This is looking okay. This is a little bit more work shifting from one thing to another. And using other colours and so on. Where did this come from? Don't know. Need a picture of it. Need some explanation of why it was there. Like this a lot. Now you're getting something cleaner, something kind of bolder, something simpler. It just makes more of an impact. There's less clutter, and the writing's a little bit better. You're doing some kind of changing to the font there, which is nice. Maybe exaggerate it, make it more like it's different from the rest. Okay, fill in some more. That you've already got it, so maybe you could lose it. Let's have more. It takes a while to work out how they go. Straighten these lines up a little bit. Yeah, straighten them up a little bit because it'll present what's inside a whole lot better. This was an interesting one, as was your final piece. I think a photograph of your final piece in some spot would be very nice indeed. Drawing styles, I like the boldness, I like the size. I think that's a brave, bold thing to do. If you're going to look at kind of getting it more kind of like that in shape, just check out your angles of things a little bit more. But I think you've got the feel of it. I think you've got the style of it. You've uh, given it a little bit more energy. There's kind of softness to that and giving it a bit more energy. But that's the way you've been doing things, and it's been great. Okay, pop art. We do need something on pop art because that's the feature that you've been interested in, and you've made alterations. And uh, again, you've done a good thorough job of that, and partly because the border's neat and so on. I think that's good. That's kind of interesting. How is it different from the original? That's the question. Print. We need more of your print stuff. All right. This doesn't look too bad when it's kind of blown up like this, but we need more of them. This is scrappy and looking lazy again. I can't read that really. Who is it? We need some pictures. Back to the pop art. Got to be finished. Yeah, thorough job. Clean, clear. Okay, writing's getting tighter. That's looking a bit cleaner. Abstract work. First experiments with abstract art. Maybe you could actually get some of the examples in of the abstract art. And it leads nicely onto this. This is your photograph. Let's see all the photographs you took on a fold out. And you've chosen to do something like this in it. Now, if you were to work on that more, that could really be a very interesting little piece of work you've got going there. And these are the people that you mentioned earlier on, Show Green. And you dive in. That's an interesting start. Okay, good colour samples. Interesting build up to the skull drawing. I like this very much. It's a mixture of things that you've put together. I think there's a lot of potential in that, a lot like Sigma Polka. Can we have some more? We have some more done carefully. Good to see it not working out. Say why. Keep this neater if you can. It kind of moves about too much, this writing. I would get photographs because then you can actually watch out for the proportions of all these different parts. Yep, good stuff. Yeah, again, good stuff. Well done, well done. Why draw? I'm sure there's a few more entries to that. Your mind maps are starting to have a little bit more presentation about them. Yes, I like these. You got a title, you got something there, you got some notes. It's getting better. Finish that one too. That's looking good. Yeah. Maybe a few little adjustments to it. Very much in the kind of style that you like doing things, and that's looking good. I'd get another layer on these with another print, and there we go. So, Brandon, lots to do, but lots to build on. Tidy things up. Don't be lazy with the stuff. Take it home and do homework, and the book will start to get better and better.